Eclipse Theory Games, podcast where we bring you the latest in gaming news, indie reviews, and everything else under the sun. My name is Kendall, and I'm here with my co-hosts.
Tony, aka Plate Dog.
Man.
Hey, what?
Exactly. That's pretty much all that needs to be said on that one.
Did you say
That's
dog?
a good one. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
My bad.
I mean, shit.
I wasn't ready for that.
No, that was the point. That's the point.
Oh my God.
You got me. You got me. All right, man. Okay. And I'm also here, if you can't tell from the laughter in the room, we had a pleasure of being joined once again by K Gang's own Jerz. What's going on, man? If you can break the
Can't get over that. I'm sorry.
Nah, I get it.
Yeah,
Listen.
I'm back.
I gotta do this.
Been back sooner, but I'm here now, right on time.
Holding that shit together every week. True challenge with this man. But we are here for the week of August 20th, back for another episode. If you didn't catch our last episode, we actually had the pleasure of being joined by Mega Ran and Omega Sparks. Had a really great episode about gaming nostalgia and everything, but that was a little bonus episode. We dropped that midweek. We're actually back to our little tournament situation, and we have a very, very, very special episode. We've been telling you all month about how we're leading up to this tournament that we got going on. It's the special event at the end of the month. And we finally kind of gotten to the precursor of that. So again, I'm gonna let Tony take it away because he's been a mastermind of this whole thing. Tony, you want to break down exactly how we're doing this episode?
All right. So what we're doing today, we're picking our 32 teams for the tournament. This tournament is going to be our greatest game of all time. We're doing 1 through 8 seed, 4 regions. The Link region, Chrono region for Jerz, Cloud region for Kendall, and we're going to do a mystery region where we're basically going to vote on the name for the last one. We're going to try our best to make that last region kind of special where like the heavier matchups are, kind of give y'all a little entertainment on that side of it. But that's it. This is all just selection and seeding. So this is what you're going to hear us. You're going to hear us arguing over which game should make the list, which game should be seeded what. We're going to be arguing over fucking 8 seeds. It's that the whole point of this is to piss each other off as much as possible.
Absolutely. I'm all the way for it. So, yeah, we have a nice format going on. I know Tony's going to be keeping notes and like bracketing everything up for us for when we actually get to the tournament episode. But this episode, we are actually going to start. So, like I said, Tony, you the mastermind of this. How we going to break down like the turns and everything? Like who's going first? How we sequencing that?
So this is really not going to be. This is going to be a discussion. It's not going to be a one goes. Somebody throws a game out. If we agree it should go on the list, it goes on the list, and we agree on seed.
Okay.
I'm sure we all got a list up or came up with some stuff on our own. So it's really just a discussion of what we think the top 32 are and where they should go.
Okay. Cool. Sounds good, man.
So I mean, we can get the easy shit out the way.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Because my personal number 1 seed would be Ocarina of Time.
Of course. It's got to be. Like.
Yeah, it can't not be a top 32 game. That'd be
it's the only issue is like the number of Zelda games and like choosing what goes on and what doesn't. But Ocarina of Time just set the precedent for everything.
If I'm only for my money, if I'm only picking one, that's gonna be the one. Like, admittedly, I haven't played the later games. Like, I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I can't speak on if that's better. But me knowing how I am, even if it was, I'd still pick Ocarina of Time just because of like what it did for me personally.
Yeah,
and the impact it had.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. Even as somebody who was kind of more of a Majora's Mask guy, I wouldn't really make the argument for Majora's Mask over Ocarina of Time because, one, you don't get Majora's Mask without Ocarina. And two, that was just such a step forward. Like, that was like the Super Mario 64 of its,
precisely.
So, yeah.
This is my question I have, not about Ocarina of Time, but just in general. We there's no set criteria to determine what we nominate and put in the top 32, right? Just whatever we feel should be there.
If you think it should be in the top 32, then name it. We'll talk about it because you can look at a game that doesn't like it might not blow you away gameplay wise, but its
But you
impact
just
is
feel like,
undeniable.
okay. So it's just
So
for
if you
whatever
can make a
reason you
case, yeah,
not,
if you can make a case for 32,
yeah,
then
you make your case how you make your case, but it ain't
yeah,
like no
this ain't
criteria, like
based on nobody else's. This is
no
our
check
list.
boxes. Okay,
Right.
just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
cool.
So since we're getting the easy ones out of the way, I know people don't really talk a lot about Crazy Taxi. You know what I mean? But my pick is Final Fantasy VII. Fuck that. We got to get that one on this list. Like that's a
Yeah.
must.
Yeah,
All right.
I have no argument against that either.
So that's Kendall's 1 seed. So
Yes,
Jerz,
sir.
what's your 1 seed?
Just penciling in, man. It's
I
Chrono
know. Yeah, I know.
It's Chrono Trigger. Like,
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure you wasn't trying to throw us for a loop or nothing. But I
Absolutely.
I had that in.
Not at all. Not with the way I feel about these lists. And so yeah.
Well, look, just because you say it don't mean it's gonna make the list. That's the other thing.
I mean, that's fine.
We might throw some shit out, you know.
I don't know that you're out debating me when it comes to Chrono Trigger. At least to get it on the list. Now, will it win the whole thing? That's different, but
that's not one you can get a debate on us on anyway. Because I think we said like 4 episodes ago we thought that was the greatest RPG ever.
I don't know how you name 32 games better than Chrono Trigger with me sitting there. It's not happening.
That's why you're here. That's literally why you're here.
There's no way in hell.
We needed the argument side of it. We needed somebody to.
Oh, y'all go and name some games. I'm just waiting for them to come up.
I'm planning. I already planned. Again,
it ain't gonna be too long from now before one of y'all try to name them, and we gonna get to the shit. I'm just patiently waiting.
That's the point of the episode, right? We got to get divisive. We doing the easy ones right now. Like we're getting all that out the way. You know?
Yeah, there's going to be at least 10 or 15. It's going to be cool, and then
it's going to get spicy.
It's going to get spicy. Might as well get the easy ones out the way.
All right, so let's get this 4th 1 seed out the way. This is one we all gonna have to talk about.
That's a tough group.
What I would go for my 4th 1 seed is Super Mario Brothers 3.
I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, I'm not that mad at it.
Because I was debating Mario 3 and Mario World like we've done for the last 20 years.
I take 3 over World though. Because again, like if you debating those two, it's the same as like Ocarina of Time and maybe Breath of the Wild. It's like Mario World objectively is probably the better game, but I don't care. It's like I just don't. Mario 3 did what it did. Like I remember sitting in the theater watching a Wizard when they showed Mario 3 for the first time, and I remember how that shit rocked every kid in there. Like it was just Mario World didn't do that. So just off that impact alone, just the way. Like, you know how stuff happened now in the internet era and they say it like broke the internet? Like Mario 3 broke the internet. Like
absolutely.
That's all anybody cared about after that movie came out. Like, what the fuck did we just see? Like, and you know, at an era like that, for one thing to just dominate discussion, that wasn't normal. Like Mario World came out and it was great. And, you know, it came with my Super Nintendo for my 10th birthday. Fond memories. But I don't remember it just stopping time like Mario 3.
Yeah, I can agree. I mean, I can't speak so much to to that era and like which game hit harder for the audience because I was young, you know. But Mario 3 was mine. Like that was the one for me that really punched it in. And like you said, it is kind of like Ocarina of Time where you don't really get Mario World without Mario 3 kind of setting that standard. So I'll give it to that. Okay.
That's
1 seed was supposed to be easy.
So there we go. Our 1 seeds are locked in. We got Ocarina of Time, Chrono Trigger, Final Fantasy VII, and Super Mario Brothers 3. Now, this is the part where, okay, so we're not going like in order, like 1 seed, 2 seed, 3 seed. Right. It's just whatever you throw out, and then we determine
we can just argue the seed once the game come out, but we don't gotta try to figure out what's the best game. But
we are gonna go region by region.
Okay.
So let's start
So which region are we in now? Because we did one for each region.
We did one for each region. So we're just gonna start in the Link region. That's where Ocarina of Time is.
Okay.
Perfect.
So
what else do we want to put in that region, basically?
We need 2 through 8.
Okay, got you.
So if there's something you got, name it and we'll go from there.
All right. I'm gonna try to stick to games I have personal experience with. I don't want to just start naming stuff I ain't played that I know people gonna want on the list because
that's right.
They want on the list. Fuck
yeah.
it. So let me see. What is one of the best games of all time to me? You know what? This is a game that people. Nah, I don't want to go that way.
Go ahead, say what's on your heart, brother.
Well, this is what I was going to say. It's probably not going to stay in the 32, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. But one of my favorite games of all time and one of the best online experiences I've ever had is Burnout Paradise. And I mean, I don't know if it could sneak in as a low seed, maybe when it's all said and done. But it's literally one of the best racing games of all time.
I was going to say, I'll keep it a buck. I probably wouldn't go higher than 7, but I at least go 7.
Yeah, like it wouldn't be a high seed at all. It'd have to sneak on the list, but God damn, Burnout Paradise was.
Because here's the thing, like when you're doing like a top, I guess in this case a top 32, other genres count. Like people get way too caught up in just like action adventure RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Man, it's sports games that belong on that list. It's racing games that belong on that list. Yeah. I'll put Burnout Paradise on it
just for representation purposes.
Right.
Because it's like if you because if you think of it this way, like say if the way you were trying to get your top 32 was just grabbing the 4 best games from like 8 different genres, Burnout makes that list. You know what I mean? It's going to be a top 4 to me, a top 4 racing game or driving game. So if I look at it from that aspect, like it can get on the list. And I mean, if we keep naming games, it's probably going to get bumped off, and I'm cool, but I just want to recognize it in some way, shape, or form. Because, like, if you've ever played that game, you know why I said it.
Right. That shit on my Switch.
Played it with the 8-player online, because that shit was different.
Man, listen, it says something that we all had an experience with that game, and like I'm not really a big racing guy. Like, not that I don't like those games and I don't play a lot of them, but Burnout Paradise was special. Even for me, like there's like a handful of games that I put on that list, and Burnout is definitely worthy of being up there. At least like for now. Like you said, who knows?
It's hella early, so like
it's on the list. It's on
the list.
I know
in my heart it's not going to stay, but I wanted to hang around for a while.
I mean, look, that game was so good that just about the entire K gang rebought the shit when it got remastered. We never even did shit with it,
and barely even played it. We logged on to it like twice, and nobody felt the way.
Look, it's just working.
Because it was so good. I wanted to give them more money, and it had all that free DLC.
Because at some point we'll come back around.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, one day for shits and giggles, make some content. So
drive
on and do barrel rolls,
crashing the people and shit. So I'll throw one out there that I feel like needs to be on the list, and I talked about it. Actually, I think I was off camera when I talked about it last episode, but Castlevania Symphony of the Night definitely deserves to be up here. Like that's a game that changed my trajectory as far as the games that I played. Like the whole Metroidvania thing, Castlevania was not really like that before Symphony of the Night, and then they got half the damn genre's name based mostly off this game. Like it was that good.
You know what? While we here, I got a hot take. And it's somebody out here that ain't gonna like this, and I don't care. But Symphony of the Night is probably the best Metroidvania game ever. I'm gonna say it. I know everybody gonna say, but Super Metroid. I think Symphony of the Night is better. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean,
man.
Honestly, I agree. I do.
And I mean, you know, for purposes of what we doing, I wouldn't feel no kind of way if Super Metroid ends up seated higher, because again, it's the same. It's a consistent argument we've been making. Like, yeah, this might be the better game, but it only the better game because of this. So like, it's not all right. But I just want to be on record. Like, Symphony of the Night was like, or probably still is, the pinnacle of that genre in the game that every Metroidvania game is still chasing to this day.
Facts.
which is crazy.
All right, so I think we can agree that that's going on the list. Where you see
for sure. Yeah, that's on the list.
Man,
I'll say 3 seed.
I was gonna say,
Yeah, you can sit it there for now until we start filling up some other games, and then
yeah, because
we'll
it feels
see
like
if it hold. But that'll put it what,
it's
top 12. I ain't mad at that.
yeah, it can
Not
fit
right
there. I
now,
feel like
anyway.
it's a 2 seed in my heart. Like that's just my personal experience with it, but you know, I
Yeah, I
know
mean,
there's a lot of games, you know.
yeah. The thing is, as we really, really think and start remembering like all time games, it's gonna be like, oh shit, damn, forgot about that. Oh
Yep,
damn, fuck, where we gonna put that?
yep.
So I'm not too worried about where nothing is right now. It's definitely gonna get moved around.
Yeah, absolutely.
So what are we doing with? Well, let's do this because I'm not a huge Mario guy like some people are. Are there any other Mario games y'all feel like needs to be on this list? Top 32.
So here's my hot take. Um, if we're doing the most impactful games, then Super Mario 64. But
Other
I
than that,
don't,
no.
yeah, I
Say
don't
it.
know if that goes
'Cause
up there.
I'm not a Mario 64 fan. I never have been.
And I'm gonna keep it, but I still will play it. Like I still think it's fun to this day myself. Like I love that game, but it's like there's been so much Mario since. There's been so many 3D platformers since. And again, just like every other game, it's gonna be a case by case thing when it comes to like the predecessor and the games that did
Yeah,
it
it won't
better after
always
that.
be the higher seed.
Yeah, like
You
it's
know,
tough to
because
argue against.
Galaxy's a better game than 64.
I would so argue against
Hey,
that.
hands down.
I
You
mean,
would?
I
Nah,
mean,
I mean,
see,
I don't
that's the
know.
thing. Like,
Galaxy put me to
I was
sleep.
never a big Galaxy guy. Like, that was
All
mine,
right.
and I
Same.
went, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Galaxy is literally the reason I sold my Nintendo Wii.
Like,
Outside of it just being a Nintendo console.
Well, no, I wanted to like the Wii. Like, that was the game that made me feel like I needed to have one. So I bought it before it came out, and I had, like, I liked Wii Sports. That was fun. Like, but I was waiting for Mario Galaxy, and then it came out, and I bought it. And every time I played it, I would fall asleep within 10 minutes. After like the fifth time, I gave up. Like, you know what? And then somebody at my job just mentioned they was looking for a Wii, and I'm like, you know what? Mine just collecting dust. I
yeah,
sold it to
man.
him with the whatever the fitness game was. I had that too. Wii Fit was it called?
Yeah, yeah.
Sold him the whole shit. Take it, get it out my house. Yeah,
All
I
right,
had high hopes for Mario, and it was getting 98s and shit. And I'm like, oh hell yeah, that shit was ass.
look.
That's when I knew I was over Nintendo. Like that was literally the moment.
I
That's
mean,
when I
yeah.
knew. I was like, you know what? I've just outgrown Nintendo and what they do, and that don't make it bad. It's just not for me.
So
Yeah, that's some
the
people
Wii
got
was a
there.
weird time. That was a weird time. Like, I feel like because Mario Galaxy is like it's a fun game, but I feel like there's something missing in that game where it just wasn't like enough. Odyssey, I don't have that complaint. Even like Galaxy 2, I don't really have that complaint as much, but I don't
Odyssey
know,
was
what's
fucking
something about
fire.
what was it?
Odyssey was fire.
Odyssey was
No,
flames. Like
Odyssey
Odyssey is
was
incredible.
actually really good.
Yeah. Yeah, like and I
Like
mean
Odyssey had personality.
exactly.
That's what
Something
I
was
think
missing.
Galaxy was missing. It ain't had no
It
soul.
and it had a charm. Like the Rosalina and the Lumas were cute and all that shit, and then like it was a cool game, but it felt a little empty to me. Like I don't know what it
Yeah,
was.
I agree with that assessment.
Yeah.
And that's what I think why I would get bored playing it. Like it's just too much time in between stuff happening that I thought was like interesting.
Right.
Like
Right.
I'm just literally running around as Mario, which is what you always do, but it never felt so lifeless until that
Yeah.
game.
You fly into like little planets on stars instead of just platforming. You know, I'd
Yeah,
rather
I'm
play a
like,
Super
bro.
Mario 3D world. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. With that being said, I don't think it makes this list, but I just want to give a shout out to Super Mario Sunshine because this is exactly why I've always preferred Mario Sunshine. It has dumb personality. Like it
Love that
the
game. I don't care what nobody say.
facts. It's incredible. And
That game has gotten its flowers over the years, but
yeah,
people hated it when it came
Oh,
out.
when it
God,
dropped, oh my god, it was.
yeah, that game got crucified, but
man.
people hit that game with the go back. You know what I mean?
When they
Now
dropped that
everybody
3D
fucking
All Star joint, everybody was like, "Oh wait, this is actually good." And like, just
yeah.
telling y'all niggas when it happened.
Bro, that's the one I was playing on that. Facts. And speaking of just, I know we still get into our seating, but I just want to speak on the GameCube because that was the period in time when Nintendo was just like, fuck it. Like, we're going to try some stuff. The GameCube was a little renaissance. You know what I mean? Like, Mario got a flood suit, flood backpack. Luigi got a vacuum. Metroid was in first person. You know what I mean? Zelda went cell shaded. Every game like flipped the script on what you'd expect for it.
Resident Evil with fucking action.
Right.
Yeah,
like
they
that was
did try a lot of shit that at the time seemed like the fuck are y'all doing?
That was a weird choice, but like that turned out to be, and
and
people don't even
just hit.
Man, damn near all of them, and I mean like retroactively for some of them, but even like people don't associate Resident Evil 4 with GameCube. That was a GameCube game.
That was
bro.
a GameCube
it was
exclusive.
a GameCube exclusive.
Yes,
I was there. I felt
Matter of fact, they resurrected that series on the back of the GameCube.
That's a fact
because they remade the first one.
The Resident Evil 0 joint. And that hit.
It was a renaissance.
They definitely did kind of pick Resident Evil up because people ain't fuck with 3 like that. And Code Veronica was stuck on Dreamcast.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Code Veronica was flames, but nobody played that motherfucker.
Right, on a dying console.
Right.
But speaking of which, do y'all think Resident Evil 4 goes on this list? Because I mean, I'm more of a recent Resident Evil fan.
But I think it does, at least for now. It can be on the list for now for sure.
Yeah, we can figure season.
I can see it get bumped, but for now, it's not egregious.
Right. That's if anything. What we doing right now is like the top fucking like 64 games.
Yeah, we're gonna end up with like 50, 60 games, and then we're gonna start having to like be like, all right, realistic.
Yeah, I'm just putting them down on a list on my phone, and then we'll go from there.
Yes, sir.
What are we doing with God of War?
I was just looking at that shit on my list. That's funny.
A lot of games to choose from.
I can't call any of the original trilogy a top 32.
It's 2018 or Ragnarok.
I
would think that's the one. If
2018 would be the one that I would go with.
That's the one you probably got to grab. 2018.
Yeah. And again, everything about Ragnarok was bigger and better to me. Like I love Ragnarok, but 2018 is the precedent setter.
And what that
changed shit, man.
With that game, what they had to do, like. It's like you had the original trilogy, and then you had the PSP games, and then it kind of went off the map, and we didn't even know if we were gonna we knew, but we didn't know. And then when we finally saw it, for it to be nothing like any of the games prior, and you got this random ass kid, everybody's like, "What the fuck are they doing?" And then we got what we got, and it's like, bro, like, where they even,
single camera shit?
How they pull this off?
Yeah. Like, literally to this day, and
it still don't make no sense.
It's one of them things where I feel like in these cases, like the difference between like a Mario 64 and a God of War Ragnarok in the sense of, oh, this one came first, so it set the precedent, is Mario 64 doesn't hold up as much as the games that came after it. Whereas I would play 2018 and then play Ragnarok, and it would feel like a continuation.
It holds up, even though it's the earlier game. It's just as good, if not better, in some ways.
Exactly.
And in a way,
I don't feel like I'm going back in time, like mechanic wise.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Even though it was a different console generation, it's like it's right at home.
Yep.
And also whatever it doesn't do as good, it don't make the experience worse. It just make it different.
Right. And that's also the reason I feel like Symphony of the Night is like the best Metroidvania, because it's a game I go back and play once a year. Like I could just play that jump right. And it's on my phone.
And it's still, if that game came out right now, it'd still be getting rated highly, and people, it would just be like, oh, this is the best indie game of the year. Like that's what they'd be saying.
Yep.
Yeah. Facts.
It'd be getting treated like Hades.
With no change, no art.
Yeah, like upgrade. No, yeah, you don't have to change shit. Yeah. Not even the graphics. You don't have to change nothing. And it would like have rocked the indie community.
Yep, it's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's just flawless game design and audio, everything.
You know what, man? I want to throw a wrench into the convo because we brought up Hades.
I
Because I think
knew he was about to go there.
yeah, because I think that's an interesting combo because it's a more recent game, but it's also kind of like a 10 out of 10. Like this game is everything it needed to be.
I'm not mad at Hades being in discussion at all. Like
Yeah, like that
because
game.
there's so much about it that was just incredible to me. So like there's probably games that people would grade higher than it or whatever for whatever reasons, but if you really stack them up, they're not really better than Hades.
Yeah,
And the
like
fact that it was done the way it was done and what it originally was supposed to be, and like if you know the backstory, it's even greater. But like it's just perfectly put together. It was so much thought put into it.
exactly.
I think is what makes it great.
That early access had a big impact on that game. Like they really took their time,
Yeah.
fleshed it out, didn't put things into the game until they were ready, and they made
Early
it
access
masterpiece.
saved that game, honestly.
Yeah.
It wasn't looking good for a while. They got that shit together though.
Yeah, so I would put that up
All
there for
right.
sure.
I'm gonna throw one out because I feel like this one. I think this one needs to be on the list. And it goes to my burnout argument. NFL 2K5.
Oh yeah.
Football game go.
Yeah.
I mean,
That game changed. It changed the football landscape for video game. Like it literally
Forever.
changed it for the works, unfortunately, but still, it wasn't their fault.
Yeah.
But like when they decided to drop that shit for $20,
it was over for EA. They panicked.
That was one of the best decisions in gaming history. Well, I can't say the best because it lost them the license, but like realistically, it was a great move. It's just
savvy.
It lost them the license, but it ain't lose them the war
that we ain't see coming.
Right.
But like
it ain't losing the war because people still playing that shit.
Like to know you have the better game and sell it for $20, like that takes balls. But people got it. People was like, "Oh, it's $20. I'll just buy them both." And then that was the worst shit that could have happened to Madden because playing them
05 was collecting dust, but
it was like, "Yo, this Madden shit, nah, it ain't like this over here." Like,
nah. We had Chris Berman giving us halftime highlights, and them shits was matched up.
Did you have the hard drive on PS2?
Yes.
So you got the highlights that actually were video.
Yeah.
I had never, because if you didn't have the hard drive, they still do the halftime show, but it would just be like still pictures.
Yeah.
From the highlights.
You actually see
but
the
you had the
niggas
hard drive,
running
they
the play.
I'm like, how are they even generating these plays? Like it blew my little mind. Like, what the fuck? Like with real voiceover, rumbling, bumbling stuff. I'm like, nah. Yeah. I never thought it would get better than that. And like in a way,
it hasn't.
Right. It really hasn't.
It hasn't.
Yeah, like
commentary's gotten worse. It don't match up with what you're doing.
It's literally the pinnacle of like sim football games. That's sad.
Yeah,
it's been
to
almost
this day
20 years since that game came out. Right? That's what 04.
Yeah,
and it's 2023.
It'll be 20 years next year.
Almost a 20-year anniversary. I wish they could do something like.
Yeah. Sad times, man.
But yeah, I definitely will put that. I'm gonna throw Uncharted 2 up. That has to be good.
We talked about that before you got on. So yeah, we agree.
Yeah, that's the and we had a little like I was internally debating, not debating, but like Uncharted 4 plays better, but like we said a million times, like Uncharted 2 was the one that like changed how games are play out.
Yeah, nobody's seen anything like that train scene,
man,
in a video game ever.
Yeah, that
straight up.
I might have to go back and play that.
I got the collection of my shit. I might have to re-download it.
Like, I remember a lot of it, but I feel like it's some parts I don't remember that I need to remember.
Facts. Yep. Like
I think I have the trilogy. It was on Plus, I think, and I think
they put it on Plus like last year, I think.
Yeah, or it's on the what's it called? Well, I guess it is just Plus. They don't have
it's just Plus now. They don't go PS.
But it's PS one of the ones that's part of the collect. It's part of the thing now, right? Like the games that don't go away.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I just downloaded it just to have it so I can run through them one day again.
Man, it's a series that really doesn't get enough. I mean, it gets its love, but not really enough. Like Uncharted kind of ate his lunch a little bit, and that's a special ass game. So I don't know if y'all operating off the same like low key rule I am, where I'm trying to stick to like one per series. So I would say that's the Uncharted one I would pick.
Said one per. Oh yeah, I'm kind of trying to do that.
Yeah, it's not a hard rule, but you know,
Yeah. Like I don't want to flood it with like 7 Mario games and
thanks.
But
Final
there is
Fantasy,
certain
Zelda.
there is certain shit that requires
some-
two. Like Final Fantasy requires two because I think 10 has to be on that list.
10.
Yeah,
There's an argument for 6 and there's an argument for 9 as
Yeah,
well.
see, I would put 6, but I know why somebody would put 10.
Yeah,
Like I wouldn't really argue against.
I ain't mad at any of those answers.
I
Yeah,
might put all
yeah.
3 up there and see if they can hold their spot. I ain't gonna lie. Like,
Yeah, because I mean they might not. They might not.
You know,
Yeah.
once you,
And
but I'm not
mind
mad.
you,
Those are the
even just-
3 to
even-
me in the whole pantheon of all of them. Right now, those are I haven't played 16, admittedly, but those are the 3 that stand out to me: 7, 10, and 6. 9's really good too, but
it's more of a 9 is more of like a 16 where it's like a really great game, but it probably we gotta see what happens with 16 and how much it changes the series. But
yeah,
some of them are just like yeah,
it falls a little short of like all time, but it definitely was like PS1 definitely had the best Final Fantasy run with 7, 8, 9.
Yeah.
I believe.
And if you ask me personally, 9 is like right up there with 7, but I know that like in the overall scheme, you know,
7 is what it is. Like
right.
people say it's the best, and we know why, but like 9 probably was a better game.
Yeah, mechanically.
But that don't matter because 7's 7.
Yep,
So
7.
that's just how I go.
Yeah.
Like
I'm not even playing 7. I'm not even playing 9 if I don't play 7 because 7, I said it a million times, like I was not interested in Final Fantasy. I had the same impression everybody that you know that doesn't play that shit. It has like, oh, Final Fantasy, nah.
Yeah, and that's why 7 is 7 because of that part right there. Nothing else. Like everybody, not everybody, but like I'll say at least probably 60% of the people who played 7 back then it was their first Final Fantasy.
Yep.
And not because they never heard of it. It was just because it was just never seen as a cool game until that.
Yeah. That's exactly why I say we gotta wait and see what happens with 16 because a lot of people having that moment right now.
Yeah, that's very true. A lot of people, it's their first Final Fantasy and they love it, but then the long timers, some of them love it too, but some of them are like a little irritated because it skews so much toward pulling in like the new people that they feel a little bit cheated. But it's like, you know,
it's when my old shit buy the whole album.
Yeah,
facts. It's amazing how many Jay-Z lines can just fit in the situations. You know what I mean?
All of them, every one of them.
It's crazy.
You got a line for everything.
Both quotes or everything.
Bro, I'm not joking when I say this is my second time today hearing that shit. But
that was a thing, and I see all that shit. We were saying that shit forever.
Whole quotes.
I feel it.
And it's a true fact.
Yeah.
Started as a joke. We realized it wasn't that funny really quick. Like, wait.
Right.
We saying this, but we keep saying it.
Yeah, we keep saying it because it's applicable.
Hey man. It's words to like live by.
Are y'all putting either of the Last of Us games on the list?
I would say yes. I got Last of Us 1 written down.
The first one? Yeah, I'm more comfortable putting the first one on.
I was gonna say I can't put the second one on.
Okay, yeah.
I got issues. I got issues with the second one. I loved it, but it's too fucking long.
Yeah, okay.
Like that game was 2-3 hours longer than it should have been.
Yeah. Them last few chapters.
Oh, going to California or wherever the fuck we ended up at, we didn't need that part.
Yeah. Like I feel like there was some bulk in the middle that I would have rather them cut out. Like if you get into that story, you got to get there. I did feel like it was dragging on a little bit. Like I didn't know that there was a lot of the, I'm not going to spoil it, but the second set of 3 days that you go through, like some of that you didn't really have to see necessarily. But it added something to the impact, but I don't know if it was necessary.
Yeah, I think they were trying to get you to like empathize with Abby by showing her journey to that point, and I get it, but like it
Nobody was
definitely
going to.
extended the life of that game to an almost unbearable amount.
Right.
It's crazy that like more game was seen as negative because usually it's not, but in that case, I was like, it was so much going on emotionally in that game that I was just exhausted. Like I just want this to end for everybody
Literally.
involved. Like I just wanted it to be over for all of them because this is a lot.
Yes, that's facts. Listen,
Like
Last of Us,
so much suffering.
that game, Last of Us Part 2 scared me in a way that no game has ever scared me before. And I guess it's a minor spoiler, but it wasn't like a cutscene or anything crazy. It was the part where you go to the workbench, million fucking workbench that you've been to in the game. You already know that while you in this, you're in a low-key little cutscene. And while you're working, you start to hear something behind you. And then like right when you leave that shit, somebody just jumps out and fucking grabs you. And I'll never forget jumping like a bitch when that shit happened. Like that shit got me. Oh my God.
I remember exactly.
Speaking of ridiculous jump scares, does BioShock make the list?
Yeah, the first one, yes.
Yeah, the first one. First
one. To me, at least for now, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
For now,
because I would think that has to go on.
Yeah, if I'm picking one, it's going to be one. As much as I loved Infinite.
Dog, I don't understand the hate Infinite gets. Well, no, I understand. No, I understand the hate Infinite gets because everybody's so hung up on like the content of the story, and I'm like, yo, was the game
wrong
good?
With the content of the story?
Right.
Everybody won't be offended about something. They was mad about the scene where you could throw something at the black girl in the beginning.
Oh,
then
yeah,
they was kind of mad.
Yeah.
Then they was kind of mad about like the whole dynamic between Booker and old girl.
Nah, I legit forgot about that part in the beginning. I do remember the beef with Booker and the girl, and I remember all that.
And I'm like, this shit ain't that big a deal.
Yeah,
like the game was fire.
I ain't get into that. Honestly.
Yeah. Now,
like you didn't have to throw the fucking thing. You didn't have to throw the fucking. I think it was an apple. You didn't have to. If you did, that's your fault.
Right.
That was wild.
Now I feel you, and honestly, I don't remember. I don't know what people then are mad about literally because I haven't played in so long. Like I had to go back and revisit that joint to. But I just remember the best part. So I have like a rose tinted glasses when it comes to Infinite.
That fucking ending, man.
Yeah. And I just love Twist, man. That Twist was mind blowing. But even there, BioShock won. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit different.
Yeah, BioShock definitely goes on the list. What else is up there? I'm purposely avoiding games I don't like, by the way.
Yeah.
So, I know. We might, matter of fact, let's fuck it. Let's just get spicy. Let's just start with this one, Skyrim. Let's get real spicy with it.
Okay.
Jerz hates Skyrim.
Yes, he does.
Make it known.
Yeah. You want to know why Jerz hates Skyrim?
What's your argument against Skyrim?
Jerz, tell everyone like why you hate Skyrim.
My argument is very simple. I hate it because everybody likes it.
There it is.
Like that's my
I appreciate
argument. I mean, Skyrim is like this is a consistent thing with me. Like I can objectively admit that something is really good and at the same time be like, fuck that shit. That's just me. If you ask me is Skyrim dope, I'd be like, yeah. If you ask me where it belongs, I'd be like, man, fuck that game. Because I feel like as great as it is, it's overrated. In a way that like you might be the third best ever at something and people let's say you're the first. Still overrated. It's just to most people it don't matter because it's up there. But to me, that matters. So like, you know, when people say shit like Skyrim's a great game, I'm like, yeah, it is. But when you be like, oh, it's the best RPG ever, now I want to fight. And like that's the type of shit that people do. Is like they don't really think it's the best ever necessarily. Well, some of them do. But the other ones, they're just really trying to like say that it's like really, really great. But it's like words mean things. And I'm weird like that. So like I just see too much Skyrim the GOAT talk for me. Like, no, the fuck is not.
So before we get into whether or not it's staying on the list, we might as well avoid Jerz repeating himself, and I'm just going to throw The Witcher 3 out there.
Yeah.
For the same reasons.
Same exact conversation.
But this one is more specific. This one is IGN fault. Damn. Because I remember the day, 2016. I want to say it's 2016 or 2017. One of them 2 years. Because I was working at my old building, not the building I'm at now. And IGN had put out their top 100 games of all time list. And I'm like, my coworker had the list. We read 100 to 1. We read all the games. Oh, this shouldn't be there. Oh, this was dope. This should be higher. And we get to number motherfucking 5. And what do I see? Witcher 3, which had only been out for like a year at that point. And I'm like, yo, there's no way a 1-year-old game was already being deemed the fifth best game in history. Like, I'm never gonna like this game for that alone. There's no way it's that good. And I literally watched someone play the entire game, damn near. And it was dope as fuck. Like,
yeah.
I probably think it's better than Skyrim, if I'm being honest. Like, just me. From what I saw, because I ain't never played. I played a little bit of Skyrim, and it's just not my speed. I didn't touch The Witcher, but from what I saw, it's way better. But I'm just like top 5, dead or alive. It hasn't even been a decade yet. Like I just think you got to give shit. Like, and you can see with this list, like, you notice this list is so far is skewing toward games that have like endured that test of time, where it's like, all right, we done had 10, 15, 20 years to think about this, and it's still one of them ones. That's just the way it got to go for me.
Man, like, I can't be mad at that. Can't be mad at that.
Now, the thing is, Witcher 3, at this point, it's put its time in.
Right.
So I don't even really be mad at it no more like that, because we like, when did that game come out? Like 2014, 2013, something like that.
Yeah, I think 2013.
Yeah, so at this point, it done put in this decade, and people still literally playing it. Like,
nigga, I still play it on the Switch.
Right. Yeah, so like, at this point, if people feel that way, I'm not in opposition like I was back then. But like, to me, that'll be like saying, you know, God of War Ragnarok is one of the best games ever. It's like, bro, it has existed for a year. Like, we don't know how we gonna feel about this game 9 more years from now based on what we've seen since then. So like, I don't know. That was my beef with The Witcher. Skyrim, by the time I started hating on Skyrim, it had been around for a while. So it wasn't even a longevity thing. It was just, I didn't think it was as great as everybody else did, because I don't like that style of RPG.
Yeah, I mean, that's an objective opinion. Like, hating a game and thinking it's not good is different.
Yeah, so. I don't try to put the two together. I was like, yeah, that shit fire objectively, but fuck that whack ass shit. Like, it sounds stupid, but like, it just depends on
sound like a nigga.
Yeah, it's just how you want to talk about it. Like, if you want me to be serious about it,
I'm the second greatest player of all time, but fuck that nigga.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, it works in sports. Why it can't work in game?
That's fair. All I'm gonna say on this topic though is that I've been going the exact opposite direction when it comes to like greatest of all time lists. Like, ever since shit like Elden Ring and Zelda started dropping, I've been like on some, you know what, fuck waiting. This shit is like my GOAT. But I'm gonna leave all those takes for when I had to throw that. Matter of fact, I'll throw one out there now. I was trying to debate which FromSoft game I wanted to nominate, and I'm gonna have to go with Elden Ring. Like, I think that game is the best of its kind. You know what I mean? In a way that I don't know if anybody can really, especially for such a young genre, it's different. But
yeah, about Elden Ring and why I didn't hate on it in a way I would have these, like how I just explained. It's for what you just said. It's the culmination of a style of game. So like with Elden Ring, even though it's the newest of the games and it's only a year old at this point, because it was built off the back of so many other great games, and I too believe it's the greatest one, that if those games have stood the test of time already and earned that place, and this is the best of that one, then it's like by default, why am I waiting? It's still gonna be better than all of those 10 years from now. You know what I mean? So like, it's kind of a different kind of thing, because it's like it's competing against itself. Like, FromSoft is basically a genre at this point. Like, they call them Souls games. So like, if I'm only competing, like if I'm saying it's the best Souls game all time, that's not going to change over time.
Right.
Because the other
Right.
game's not going to get no better.
Right.
You
I
know
don't
what I mean?
see.
Like they are what they are. So if it's better than them when it dropped, it's probably going to distance itself as the years go by and be even more better. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
based on how shit hold up. So like
I
I
feel
never
like
really hated on Elden Ring when people was trying to give it like. And don't get me wrong, you can have instant classics, but like
yeah.
I'll
No,
call
I
it an
was just
instant
saying.
classic, but I won't rush to put it on like where is it on the all time list? Like, all right, I'm gonna chill on that.
Right.
But I
Right.
can acknowledge that when we revisit this down the road, it's gonna be somewhere around. You know what I mean? But let's
Yeah.
just not rush to place it already and throw it over games that been showing people how it's done for 30 plus years and shit. Cause
That's facts. I mean, I feel like we just saw that like in real time with The Witcher. So, I can't argue against your logic. So
I mean you could,
let's
you know.
All right.
nah, I mean
Red.
that was my argument, really. Like I'm pretty much over here on the side of things where like I feel like I've had this argument many times on the show. This era of games is just shitting on like the history of games. Like, I mean, like we've talked about it already. The ones that set the standard are the reason that we have these games, but
But the
we have
quality
so
is
much
not.
stuff coming out right now that's like changing the whole script. Like it's it's one thing to be the culmination, like you were saying about Elden Ring, which is facts. Like that's exactly why I feel like FromSoft games exist in a pocket, and they kind of like Elden Ring, boosted it up. But we have shit like Tears of the Kingdom. Like that game came out this year, and I'm like, yo, this is probably my favorite Zelda. Like just because I've never played a Zelda like this. Tears of the Kingdom is my Skyrim. Like that's the game that I'm on that type of shit with, and I've said that for many reasons, but that would be the only argument I had against that shit. The fact that like you said, there are instant classics, but I mean shit. That's why we're making this list. Like that's why we debating these fucking entries.
All right. Red Dead Redemption 1.
Here's where my controversial takes start. I think
Well, I
Red Dead
got
games
one.
are too much. I think
Well,
that shit
I
is
felt that way about part two, but I
Yeah, I
actually,
remember Jerz saying 2 was
yeah,
overwhelming
it
as
was,
fuck.
yeah.
I
That
was,
is more of a two argument. I'm not
that
gonna
map scared. I see that map in my nightmares. But
lie. You know what I
part
mean? Like,
one,
yeah.
I actually 100% it like on Xbox, which is crazy. I played an Xbox game that much, but yeah, 100% of that hell. And like my hot take with Red Dead is that it's arguably the best Rockstar game ever.
Hmm. I
I
wouldn't
agree with
even
that.
argue that against what I just said. Like I feel
I
you,
100%
but
agree with that.
yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
like
you.
to me, Red Dead Redemption, the first one is their magnum opus, low key, and that's not to say it's their only great game because I thought GTA 5 was fucking fire. Like the single player mode, the story, I thought that game was incredible. Like, and online was cool, but I'm just judging like the story part.
Hmm.
And of course, the Vice Cities and those and like Liberty Cities were great too. But like, I think Red Dead was like that was them in a bag at their most. I think Red Dead 2, I can't judge because I didn't get close to finishing it. But just the fact that I felt like it was too much going on made me feel like they tried the bigger and better approach to part two, and it kind of scared me away. Even though I hear the
Thanks.
story was great.
Story was
But
Thanks.
incredible.
yeah, but I want to play it one day because I think so highly of the first one. I feel like out of respect for that one, I just want to play part two. But like I'd have to find a point when like I don't got shit else to play. Like I'm
Right.
literally not playing anything else until I finish this game. And like being that I'm a like Destiny crackhead, I just don't know when that's gonna happen. So like I don't know, but one day.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
shit.
Nah. I
You
agree.
brought it
I
up.
agree.
Destiny 2. I'm putting Destiny 2 over Destiny 1. I think Destiny 2 would have to go on that list above
Destiny
Destiny
2 is
1.
the better game.
I mean, Destiny 2 is the one
I
that
don't even low key entertain people who try to tell me Destiny 1 is better than Destiny 2. You're lying. Like there's no rational argument for that except I just liked it more, which is fine if that's your reasoning, but like that ain't gonna hold up in the court of law. You know what I mean? I said so. Like, you're not my parent. But I guess the question is, do I feel like Destiny 2 is one of the 32 best games ever?
I'm gonna tell you why I
No.
put it there. If you looking at the concept of the live service game, there is no game that's done it better. For all
Yeah.
the controversy and stuff, but with the fans, I mean, we didn't talk about this in the chat and all that stuff. There is no live service game that has done it better and had done a better job of melding the actual gameplay.
I can say from I think the impact of it gets it in the conversation. Yeah, I can agree with that because, like you say, like it's literally the benchmark for the only game as a service I could think of that's really been more successful is Fortnite. And
yep.
Fortnite is actually free to play.
Right.
So that alone makes it not like Destiny really doesn't have a comparison point because any other game as a service or live service game that's as profitable or successful, you don't have to buy the game. You can just download it.
Yep.
Then you spend your money. Destiny was a full purchase.
We had to put 60 up.
And then it puts out yearly expansions that cost the price of a video game. They're $70, $80, $100 for the deluxe. So you're basically buying Destiny again every year, essentially. Yeah, not to mention all the other money people spend on it. And we've been doing it, or some people have been doing it since 2014, bro.
It's the Final Fantasy 14 model, straight up.
Yep.
Same exact thing.
Except I don't think you had to buy Final Fantasy 14, did you?
Not anymore. You don't now. I
don't
think.
No, you did at one point?
Yeah.
Oh, early on? Okay.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did.
Then actually switched to free to play?
Yeah. So they went to,
Yeah, like once they had some expansions under their belt that they could like entice you to buy, then they like, all right, we'll let you try it out. And then you just got to cop like the latest expansion, I think. And you're
exactly, which makes sense, you know.
Yeah, which that's a good model too. But Destiny's like fuck all that. You buying everything, and you gonna love
it. Yeah.
And it's like we complain. I don't complain so much, but like people very vociferous about it. But it don't matter because that gunplay is best in class, and that ain't gonna change.
Facts.
100%. As long as Bungie still know how to deliver that great first person shooter gameplay, people going.
They're gonna show up
with whatever they got going on.
Absolutely.
As much as they say they ain't, they lying.
So
already seeing reversing course. Can't wait till Tuesday. Oh, y'all was off 2 weeks ago. It was damn near like the actors strike. If you said you was still playing Destiny 2, they was trying to shame. Y'all right back. All Joe had to do was turn on his webcam. You hoe ass niggas. And this is why I'm about to go on a rant.
I get it. This is what Destiny does.
This is why I be mad because like people know I will have conversations about Destiny, in a group chat or in a Discord, and I just basically be like, I wish these content creators shut the fuck up because all they doing is venting out in open space, influencing people to feel away about something that they don't even really feel. And they'd be like, well, Jerz, how you know they feel like that? They don't feel like that. Because as soon as something mildly...
They still playing.
Yeah, but that... And you can argue, oh, well, they still playing because that's how they make money. And whatever. But even with that, it's as soon as something happened that they could get behind, they reverse course. They don't stand 10 toes down and oh, yeah, that was a good speech, but fuck that. Till we see it in the game, we ain't going. They turn around and be like, hey, guys, it's cool to like Destiny again.
I think
okay.
And I ain't a content creator, but I might be the only motherfucker that looked at Destiny and went, I'm off this and stayed off it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been some shit they've done that made me go, damn, I might want to play that again. And I think about it and I go,
ain't come back yet.
I've had
my bouts. I've had 3 different times where I left Destiny for over a year. But
sounds like we were Overwatch. It should be like
that.
Overwatch
sometimes. I put down and haven't went back yet. Overwatch.
I haven't touched 2 again.
I went back to I stopped playing Overwatch for probably over a year over just like the bullshit with Blizzard. And then when they started talking about Microsoft buying them, I'm like, all right, they starting to seem like they're gonna shake shit up. They taking some of the toxic people out, changing names of characters. I'll give it a try. I've stopped again for obvious reasons. And I'm just like, man, the new character looks dope, but I'm not fucking with that. Like, I can't.
I deleted that shit. I don't think I had plans to get it back when the PvE came, and then once they announced that was a dub, I said, I made the right choice.
That was it.
Because that's really all I wanted Overwatch 2 for was the PvE. I was gonna play
it. That was their selling point.
Right.
Bro.
I'm like,
I'm what Overwatch 2 was. That's the whole goddamn game.
That was the whole point.
what we doing? But
all right. I'm like, I'm cool. It's been fun though.
Man, we're gonna be here forever. Get to the rest.
I was about to say we're gonna have to make this a 2-parter for sure. Because we pretty much on our.
How many games we got?
We got 1, 2, 3, 13. Not counting our 4, not counting our other 4. So we got 17 total.
Okay.
We got pretty much halfway through it, which it's not bad.
Yeah, if y'all want to stop here, that's cool. But like, I can pull up for however many of these we got to do to get the bracket solidified. So
my God, yeah. So we'll definitely come back to this. Make sure we get the rest of the bracket filled. We got a lot of debate. Like we said, we're probably going to go way over the number and like have to dial it back. And obviously,
I think it's cool that we're splitting it up because the way it's going to turn out is like this episode is like mad chill.
Right.
We didn't name any of the games that people is like, I don't know. So it's like, all right, cool. Like we got
there's still room for spice.
Yeah. I feel like when we try to fill the back half of this bracket, it's probably still gonna start chill, but then we gonna get close to 32 and realize how many games we ain't named yet, and then all hell gonna break loose.
Yeah. Yep. Like, nah, you gotta take that off. I ain't taking that shit off.
I ain't taking that the fuck out of here. Yeah, that's because somebody gonna think of something that they got like top 10 ever that we ain't bring up, and then what you taking off, and then I'm gonna name a game you think top 4 ever, then it's gonna be all out war. Like, oh shit.
It's gonna be the all-star argument. Yeah, you think Book should be there, but who you taking off a Book?
You're right. And them arguments be wild.
Yes, sir.
Low key, because it get crazy.
I'm looking forward to our own version of those arguments. But I guess we can go ahead and wrap this up for now. Very chill episode, but it's going to get chaotic. So make sure you come back next week, man. Check in with us. We're going to keep this going, and then we'll end it off with the actual tournament where we break down what we think is the actual winner of this bracket. So follow us on Twitter, Eclipse Theory. Make sure you're keeping up with our tournament. We'll be posting episodes every Monday here on YouTube, on podcast services. Definitely keep up with us and stay tuned. But until then, man, I am Kendall. This has been Jerz and Tony, and keep gaming.